PlayStation 5, Sony. Xbox Series X, Microsoft. These two companies have been duking it out for nearly 2 decades, and this holiday season they are both releasing consoles into the fight. In this video we will be talking about the pros and cons of each console and which console would fit you best. This includes the exclusives, the price, and the technology behind each of the consoles. As far as exclusives go, PlayStation has the widest variety between the two consoles. These games include The Last of Us, the Spider-Man series, the Uncharted series, Bloodborne, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, Ratchet & Clank, Knack, and many others. If you are wanting to try out a PlayStation for the first time this holiday season, they have a PlayStation Plus program that's a subscription which has most of the games I've listed included. And this is all at launch. For Xbox, we have the Halo franchise, State of Decay, Gears of War series, Forza Motorsports, Avowed, Fable, As Dusk Falls, Tell Me Why, Everwild, and many others. Something to note, Microsoft recently bought Bethesda, meaning that Bethesda games could be potentially only on Microsoft products. The Xbox has a similar system to the PlayStation with its Game Pass, which is a monthly subscription, but the titles on this for the Xbox Series X have not been announced yet. If you have a PC, you can get the games you purchase on Xbox through the Windows Store with no additional cost. For both consoles, they have 2 versions. The more expensive option can play physical media and digital media, but that's going to cost you around $500. For the less expensive options, the PlayStation 5 is releasing a digital option that's $400. Whereas Xbox is releasing a digital version that is only $300. Starting with Xbox, the Xbox Series X has an optical drive that can support up to Ultra HD Blu-ray discs, and has a 1TB SSD. For processing, Xbox is using AMD's Zen 2 and RDNA 2 architectures providing 12 teraflops of power. It supports ray tracing, can render 4K resolution up to 120 frames per second. As far as the Series S, it still uses the AMD's Zen 2 and the RDNA 2 architectures, but it only has 4 teraflops of processing power. The Series S also only has 10 GB of RAM instead of the 16 GB of RAM that the Xbox Series X has. So what this means is the Xbox Series S has a much lower rendering resolution ceiling of 1440p. The Series S still can handle ray tracing and supports 120 frames, but only at 1440p instead of 4K. Lastly, the Xbox Series S has a 512GB SSD. For the PlayStation, the more expensive and the cheaper option pretty much run the same. They both have a 825GB SSD, 4K capabilities, and can run up to 120 frames per second. For processing, the PlayStation is using a custom unit based on the AMD's RDNA 2 graphics architecture, which is the same for the Xbox Series X. This one, however, only has 10.28 teraflops, and this still supports ray tracing. The only difference between the two PlayStation consoles is the physical edition has an optical drive that supports Ultra HD Blu-ray discs. Overall, I think that both consoles are great in their own way. If you're looking for better specs and better graphics, I think that the Xbox is better for you in that regard. However, so far Microsoft hasn't been doing great with exclusives for their consoles. I personally think that the PlayStation, at least at launch, will be winning over the Xbox Series X, but that still leaves potential for the Xbox to come back later on using the companies that they own now. I really also don't see the point in buying the more expensive version of the PlayStation just because it's $100 for basically a Blu-ray player. Unless you're really into physical copies of games, I probably wouldn't get it. If you're looking for the next generation experience, I would stay away from the cheaper version of the Xbox. The tech behind it just isn't up to par with the other consoles, and it's basically just playing a Xbox One X or an Xbox One S, so yeah. And that about wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had fun watching it. I had a lot of fun making it. I'll probably start making more videos like this. That doesn't mean that I won't go back to the skits that I've been making in the past. I just think that every once in a while I want to make something a little bit more edited, a little bit more professional, I guess. And yeah, so if you have any suggestions on what I should cover next, whether it's video games or movies or whatever, just leave it in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.